Drum update. Alright, so this vid is going to be kind of a big one. I'm covering everything that I know about my set and all the configurations I've done so far. So I have a Tama Rockstar 7-piece. The wood is a birch basswood hybrid. It's an entry level, but since it is a hybrid of birch and basswood instead of just regular birch, it is a little nicer sounding than most entry level sets. I use a Gibraltar double bass rack that holds basically everything I have on my set. Yeah, I've pretty much crammed it with everything that it can hold. With cymbals, I have a Zildjian 16-inch Rezo Crash, which uses the hammerings of both the A Custom and the A Standard. And then over here I also have an A Custom Rezo Splash, which is 12 inches, and they complement each other really well. Over here I have a Zildjian 14-inch Oriental Trash China, and as the name does state, it is extremely trashy. It's a great accent china because of its size. For my hi-hat, I have a K Custom Hybrid 14.5-inch hi-hat set, and it's probably the best hi-hat you'll ever see or get to hear. Down here I had a little extra attachment, a little side snare, popcorn snare. It's a birch limited Tama 10 by I think 4.5, and I have a little EC reverse center dot so it chokes off all those super high poppy overtones that it gives off. Down here I have on my left side a 16-inch floor tom, and I have it on my left side because I like to play really symmetrically. So a lot of the time with my left hand, instead of looping over here and trying to hit the floor tom on the right, I just keep my hand on the left side and hit it over here. It's pretty ergonomical. Coming to the cymbals over here, I have my primary crash, Z3 medium 16-inch. This thing is really heavy and thick, and it can take a beating, and it just has a great bright sound. Another Z3 I have is the 21-inch Ultra Hammer China. This thing is a monster. It's probably the loudest cymbal I've ever heard, and it doesn't sacrifice trashy loud sound with a crappy China sound. It definitely has a great China sound too. My third and final China is actually a Splash China stack. I have here a Custom Rezo 10-inch Splash, and then another Oriental 14-inch China Trash, and the stack gives it a really cool choke trashy feel that's really good for like kind of groovy accent patterns. I have two Zilbels, the 6-inch and the 9.5-inch, and they complement each other really well. Obviously, as you know, the Zilbels are super bright and they cut through everything with their really pingy sound. The last cymbal I have here is my Z3 Mega Bell Ride, and it is a monster. Now, a warning to people who might think they want to get this cymbal is pretty much only catered towards metal because it's just such a thick and loud pingy noise, and its bell is extremely loud. Sounds like an anvil. You can't really use it for lighter stuff. To finish off the toms, besides the 16-1 I showed you already, I have an 8-inch, a 12-inch, and a 13-inch, and lastly my 18-inch floor tom I have here. Like I said, it's all part of the Tama Rockstar wood, so it is all birch basswood. I use on all of my tom heads EC2s, and also, you can't see, but as I use Rezos, I use just Genera Rezos. The Generas really bring out the overtones, while the EC2s cut off the overtones. So it's kind of a really cool blend for contrasting, like chokiness and bringing it out, that, you know, really resonates really well. For my snare, I finally found out what it was. I didn't realize what type it was early in my other update, but it is a Tama Artwood Maple 10-ply snare. It's a 14 by 6.5, and it has a really nice smooth throw off. I can just pop on real easy. The Limited over here also has the same type of throw off, which I can pop on just as easily. Besides that, I use here a little stick holder. The sticks I use are just kind of standard Vader 5A nylon tip. My throne is just a pretty fancy, like, Gibraltar motorcycle throne. It has a backrest, but I usually don't use it because I never lean back. I mean, drummers usually have straight posture anyways, so you never lean back to begin with. Last but not least, I have these babies. These things are amazing. Axis XL longboard single pedals I have on 2 here. And these things you can go so fast with the slightest ease. I wouldn't trade them for any other pedal. The only thing I use with these also live is you can't really see here, but I have E-kits on the side. It's a little tiny beater head that I have on the side of the kick. And basically what happens is it's a little hammer, and every time I hit down on the pedal, the hammer hits a little receiver here, which sends a signal to my module I have down over here. You can't really see it. It's an Alesis DM5 drum module I use for the kick sounds. But what's nice about it being a hammer, instead of it being mounted on the kick drum, is it's impossible for it to bleed or crosstalk with other, double triggering of hitting the snare and it resonating and setting off the kick tone. So basically, it'll only trigger whenever you hit the kick drum. Well, that's basically it. If you look at my setup though, I have everything pretty much spaced off to the left and to the right. I really like playing, like I said earlier, symmetrically. So everything I do with my right hand I usually use and play just as much with my left hand. I don't really like playing in the center. I like branching off to the side. That's why if you look, you can kind of see how there's not a lot of stuff in the middle. It kind of just branches off, like I said, to the left and right. Yeah.